Ethan Parker stared at the cardboard box resting on his passenger seat. Inside were the last few belongings his ex-girlfriend Rachel had accidentally left behind after their breakup 3 months earlier. A sweater, several books, an old coffee mug, and a framed photograph remained untouched. Ethan believed returning everything would finally bring peaceful closure for them both. Although moving forward had never been easy, Ethan refused allowing bitterness to define the relationship's ending. People sometimes simply grew apart despite good intentions. Returning Rachel's belongings felt respectful rather than emotional. After sending a brief message earlier that week, she replied with her apartment address, explaining she'd probably still be at work when he arrived. Late Saturday afternoon, Ethan parked outside the familiar apartment building. Walking upstairs with the box balanced carefully in his arms, he knocked gently on the door. After several quiet moments, the door slowly opened. Instead of Rachel, her roommate, Mia Sullivan, stood smiling politely while recognizing him immediately from previous visits during happier times together. "Ethan," Mia greeted warmly. "You're here for Rachel, aren't you?" Ethan nodded before lifting the box slightly. "I just wanted to return these." Mia looked down briefly before sighing softly. "She's gone," she explained. "Rachel accepted a job in Chicago last week and moved yesterday morning." Ethan blinked, surprised nobody had mentioned such a major change. For a moment, neither knew exactly what to say. Mia noticed Ethan awkwardly holding the heavy box in the hallway. She stepped aside kindly before smiling. "You can stay for a while if you'd like. Carrying that thing back downstairs immediately seems unnecessary." Ethan hesitated briefly before gratefully accepting the simple invitation and stepping inside. The apartment looked noticeably emptier than Ethan remembered. Rachel's decorations had disappeared, leaving blank walls and empty shelves behind. Mia placed the box near the entrance before offering coffee. Ethan accepted thankfully. Neither wanted discussing the breakup immediately, so conversation naturally drifted toward work, neighborhood changes, and mutual friends from college instead, together comfortably. As they talked, Ethan realized he barely knew Mia despite seeing her many times before. During his relationship with Rachel, conversations rarely extended beyond polite greetings. Today felt completely different. Mia possessed a calm sense of humor and an easy confidence that made ordinary discussions surprisingly enjoyable without forcing awkward small talk or unnecessary formality between them. Eventually, Ethan apologized. "I honestly thought Rachel would be here." Mia nodded understandingly. She wanted a fresh start after everything ended. The new job arrived at exactly the right time. Ethan smiled sincerely. "I'm happy she found something exciting." Mia appreciated. Hearing genuine goodwill instead of resentment or lingering anger toward someone who had once mattered deeply. Before leaving, Ethan offered carrying the box downstairs again. Mia gently stopped him. "Rachel asked me donating anything she left behind if you returned it. She said keeping those things no longer made sense." Ethan looked quietly at the forgotten belongings. Somehow, hearing those words finally provided the closure he'd unknowingly needed for months afterward together. Walking toward the elevator, Ethan thanked Mia for her kindness and honesty. She smiled warmly before answering. Sometimes closure arrives through unexpected conversations instead of dramatic endings. Ethan nodded thoughtfully. Those words remained with him long after driving home, realizing peaceful acceptance often came quietly rather than all at once through grand emotional moments or speeches. Several weeks passed before Ethan unexpectedly met Mia again at the local farmer's market. She laughed upon seeing him examining tomatoes with remarkable seriousness. "Still making important life decisions?" she teased playfully. Ethan grinned. "Choosing vegetables deserves careful thought." Both laughed, instantly remembering the relaxed conversation they'd unexpectedly shared inside the apartment that memorable afternoon together. Instead of simply exchanging greetings, they decided sharing lunch nearby sounded much more enjoyable. Hours disappeared while discussing travel dreams, favorite books, music, and family traditions. Ethan realized how naturally conversation flowed whenever neither person felt pressured by expectations. Their growing friendship developed honestly because it began without romantic intentions or complicated circumstances surrounding previous relationships. Over the following months, Ethan and Mia occasionally met for coffee, hiking trips, and community volunteer events. Both remained careful, respecting the unusual way their friendship had begun. Neither wished creating discomfort or misunderstanding. Trust gradually replaced hesitation as they discovered shared values centered upon honesty, compassion, patience, and supporting others through difficult transitions within life. One evening, while walking beside the river, Ethan admitted something quietly. "When I knocked on that apartment door, I expected closure. I never imagined I'd gain a meaningful friendship instead." Mia smiled thoughtfully. "Life rarely gives exactly what we expect," she replied. "Sometimes it gives something different that fits even better than original plans." Months later, Ethan invited Mia to dinner at the same cafe where they had first eaten together after meeting unexpectedly again. This time, however, he openly admitted his feelings. "I'd like taking you somewhere that's officially a date." He smiled nervously. Mia laughed gently before answering, "I was beginning to wonder how long you'd need asking." Their relationship developed slowly because both valued honesty above rushing emotions. Friends noticed how naturally they encouraged one another's ambitions while respecting personal independence. Neither tried replacing anyone from the past. Instead, they appreciated how previous experiences had quietly shaped them into kinder, wiser people, ready embracing healthier relationships built upon genuine trust and mutual respect. Nearly 2 years later, Ethan and Mia visited the apartment building again, while helping another friend move nearby. Standing outside the familiar doorway, they laughed together, remembering their unusual first conversation. Mia smiled playfully. "Imagine if I'd never opened that door." Ethan squeezed her hand gently. "Then I would have missed meeting someone truly extraordinary forever." Looking back, Ethan understood life sometimes closed one chapter, simply to reveal another waiting quietly beyond it. Returning an old box of forgotten belongings seemed like an ordinary errand. Instead, it became the unexpected beginning of lasting happiness. Sometimes the best relationships arrive only after finding peace with the stories that have already ended.